There are three theories of language acquisition that we talked about in Module 1. And the first one is the nativist theory. The second is the behaviorist theory. And finally, we have the interactionist theory. This last one combines aspects of both the nativist and behaviorist theories, and it combines them. This one considers the biology of a human being, of a person, and the influence of our environment in creating an environment for language learning. Um, so that's this one. Check. And then going back to the first one, Noam Chomsky would be a proponent here, has been a proponent. And he would say that human beings are hardwired for language learning. It is a uniquely human ability, and that's why we do it. Unlike the behaviorist theory, researchers like B.F. Skinner would instead attribute our language learning abilities to things like the environment. This right here says engagement, something that Jenny Davis mentioned in the podcast episode. The ability to have joint attention is very reinforcing. It's important for shaping behaviors. Oh, foundation. She talks about like like with building a house, you can have a really strong foundation. Um, there are things that we can do to support language learning, like having a productive environment for us to learn, um, using things like when a child maybe motions to be picked up, using that context to shape more repetitions of the word, to shape the behavior coming back and being repeated, making it more likely that this behavior will be repeated, whether it's talking or motioning. And I thought when she talked about how each child is an individual, she emphasized each child as an individual. I remember that when I'm treating patients and their families, working with them. Um, she talks about even before there's maybe a delay or a disorder, just working with the child biologically where they're at. So is a 2-month-old lifting their knees? And she talks about kind of like the little develop milestones that happen along the way and how each little milestone can be the setting for more reinforcement. It can build an environment where we're talking about, did you bump your elbow? Where we're shaping these words, where we're essentially being role models, using language, practicing language, providing feedback, providing a rich, robust environment. So she talks about the child's um, kind of like developmental milestones. And I think that's more nativist, meeting the child where they're at biologically, helping them in an age appropriate way. Are these the sounds they could be practicing? Are these the sounds they're ready for? Versus this second theory. And then let me just check my notebook if I'm forgetting anything. Did I say that this interactionist approach recognizes the interplay between theories? It acknowledges that this one's not happening without this one's not happening without that one. It acknowledges that they're both important and that there are very important aspects of both when it comes to language acquisition. And oh, I don't think I mentioned it, but the feral children. I think the feral children are a good example for why the behaviorist theory is, in my opinion, a little more accurate in this case. If the feral children, if the nativist approach were accurate completely, then the feral children should have been able to learn language on their own biologically. It was within them all along, that sort of thing. But actually, we have to acknowledge that they did not have proper feedback, stimulation, social engagement. And without that support, without that good foundation at home for language, they did not develop it. They did not develop language. They missed out on the critical period for language acquisition, and I believe Jeannie specifically, um, had been able to acquire some words, but she did not learn grammar the way a new baby may have been able to, with the proper supports, environments, and things like that. That's it.